How do I know my pregnancy is going well at 11 weeks?
That's what all those monthly medical checkups are for.
I was hoping for more than that without paying for more than that.
I wouldn't recommend those mall facilities where they do 4D sonograms as a medical diagnostic, but they can make cute mementos.
They are also as expensive or more so than a doctor's office, and they can't give you medical advice.
True, but a sonogram that shows the baby waving its arms and legs is a way you can see literally how the baby is doing.
In a couple months, that would be a neat picture of the baby sucking its thumb. Today, you could barely even make out an arm, though the fingers and thumbs are supposed to be well defined.
I understand your anxiety, but you're almost to the end of the first trimester.
And I still worry.
The risk of a miscarriage significantly drops off after you hit that first trimester or 3-month mark.
Officially, the baby graduates to fetus.
The biggest difference is that the baby shifts from forming organs to simply growing and developing finishing touches.
I don't consider a growing brain and ears and nose forming finishing touches.
You have things like the lungs growing and adding surfactant, but the lungs are formed. The eyes already exist but eyebrows and eyelashes form.
I don't see how that's related to the miscarriage risk.
The biggest risk is that the organ formation fails, and then you end up miscarrying. Once the baby's biggest objective is to get bigger, that risk drops off.
I'd like to know what happens when things aren't doing well.
Any sudden pains that remain bad or get really bad is a sign it isn't going well.
That's true even if you aren't pregnant.
Bleeding is also a sign of problems.
Usually miscarriage.
Or a placenta tearing, or really bad hemorrhoids.
The latter one is obvious from the pain when you poop, and it usually occurs later in the pregnancy than I am.
It depends on how dehydrated you are.
I know that would make me really tired. However, I've had a lot of energy.
The second trimester is called the golden period because it is when the exhaustion of the first trimester tends to fade.
Along with the morning sickness.
Then you end up simply having to maintain a healthy diet, get plenty to drink and not work out too hard.
Until the third trimester starts and the load of carrying the child starts to wear on you, pushing up your heart rate and blood pressure.
If your blood rate and blood pressure suddenly spike, that's a red alert to go to the emergency room unless someone suddenly told you how much it costs to raise the child.
We already knew those numbers.
And if you suddenly get a massive migraine and literally see red, or your heart has begun pounding and it isn't because you think you know it is a boy or a girl, get medical attention.
I know you can't tell the gender until at least the 16th week without genetic testing.
So if you have none of these problems, you know everything is fine.